I think the thing that I always think back about with this whole situation is basically when he was born, I ended up in hospital for a week, and there were no visitors allowed at all. So like my husband, his dad didn't like met him straight after he was born, but then for the first week of his life didn't see him. And so I was like, didn't have my mum and dad, didn't have my husband. And it was just me and him in the hospital, which was just kind of horrible. Just that sort of start of his life being, so difficult for me because I didn't know what I was doing and I was there on my own. Like that's the bit that I just wish had been different. And then like the lockdowns have been difficult, and it's been, a lot of people, like my husband's twin brother, didn't meet him until he was like 7 months old, which is just really sad for Alex as well, like as wanting to share that experience with each other.
So my husband very nearly missed Seb being born. That was a challenge. Not because of COVID in any way. It was because the labour was so quick and it came on so in the morning. It took a while to get hold of my parents and then to get them to come. So I've got a second and he's 5, so it was like 3:30 in the morning. So it took a while to wake them up and get them to come up. So he made it with like 8 minutes to spare. So I think for me it was not having him there as like things progressed, because they were like, you're going to be a few hours, and it was like literally 20 minutes later he was born. It was so quick. So I think for me that was like really tough, because he was like, I just got there and then there was a baby. And I was like, yeah. Like, that was hard. But he obviously had to be with Josh, so you can't leave 5-year-old. Share.
I think night feeds is something that was like, it was a funny one for me. Like, I found them really difficult at the beginning, and I sort of almost kind of dreaded them. But now I absolutely love them, and it is just something that is like you only share with your baby. Like, my husband isn't involved with that at all. He has to work, and that is something that's really special now, and I'm kind of going to really love them. Because they don't happen very often now, which is also quite nice. But I think that's one thing. And I think another thing, just like watching him. I think like when he sees something for the first time, I always love that moment when he just like literally just stares. He'll just stare at it for absolutely ages. And at the moment it's his feet. It's just like getting used to, like, oh my gosh, I've got feet.
When Ida was born, we hardly saw them, and we were just on our own because we just moved here to Hastings. So we just spent it was just us two and the baby, and it was just incredibly hard. We were just exhausted, and it just felt like there wasn't anybody to help, and we couldn't see them because they were trying to shield, and we didn't want to put them in danger and stuff. So it was just a really lonely time. That bit, it was hard, really hard. I feel a bit traumatised by it actually. But things are normalising a bit now, so we're seeing them quite a lot now. But it was, it's been really hard, such a hard time to have a baby and just not share like everything you imagine having a baby to be. Like, it's just been totally different.
It's difficult. My overriding feeling of the first year and a half is it's been shit. Really? I might start crying. Just having twins, anyway, I've found almost impossibly hard. Plus with COVID and lockdown and not having anybody around, being on our own with my husband, but being locked together has been almost breaking point so many times, and not having any family and friends, and my mum died 10 years ago, so she's not around. I've just found it really, really hard, and I don't think I guess I feel quite angry. No one told me how shit it would be. I mean, they didn't know what a global pandemic would be hanging around, but I feel a lot of anger actually. I feel angry about that. I feel angry with the government shafting us and leaving us on our own without any support before bubbles were around. and I feel angry that with myself for not enjoying it more. I just feel a lot of anger.
It's so isolating. It's so much harder having a baby than I ever imagined. And she was quite a spicy little one. She's great now, but the first 9 months were horrific. She's very strong-minded.
There was a time when Lily wasn't sleeping very well. She's still, it requires a lot of support to sleep. And I was doing pram walks 4 times a day for her naps. So it was like 5 hours of walking every day, round and round the circle, because of how hilly Hastings is. Yeah. And I just moved to Hastings as well, so I didn't know anyone. I think normally there's more like buggy walk kind of groups and things. Would have been nice to kind of join for that sometimes, or just know somebody locally and, I don't know, pop around to go somewhere with a pram as opposed to just going around in circles. Yeah.